This is a Peugeot 504. They were quite rare because it's a 4x4.
Do you remember how we met?
I remember meeting you way back in I think it was between 2017 or 2016.
I think it's 2013 because
2013.
Yes. Hello guys, welcome back to Amoke Vlogs. This is the #1 events, travel and adventure YouTube channel. I hope you are doing great, as I am also doing okay. Welcome back to another segment of Showcase with Amoke Vlogs. This is whereby we show your builds, your talents, your achievements and any other fancy thing that you wish to share with the rest of the world. Without talking much, I will let my host introduce himself and tell us where we are. But before that, always remember to leave a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe to Amoke Vlogs. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
How have you been?
I'm very fine.
The year still new.
It's very new.
So, did you go for Christmas or you are just in Nairobi?
I traveled a bit, not so far, but I did travel.
Most people assume that everybody has a ushago somewhere. some people ushago are in Nairobi.
But you know, Nairobi is for the Maasais, as we are told.
Yeah.
But yeah, I traveled a bit, then I came back, not for so long, then I came back to Ndelena Kazi. Let's
start by you telling us your name. What's your name?
So my name is Erickson Kimiti.
Yeah.
And this is my place.
Yeah.
We are at the 70's garage, but now it's incorporated as Ika Motors Limited.
Yeah.
And we are located at Ruiru, just behind or next to Zitech University.
Talking about 70's garage, what happened to 70's garage YouTube channel?
Yeah, we did have a YouTube channel by the name the 70's garage. And we had some hiccups, so I've not posted or edited any videos since then. Now it's been like, I think now we're going to around 1.5 years.
Yeah, because you guys started well with your camera person.
I know.
Then boom,
then you disappeared. You know, sometimes when you're doing these builds and you are still the one who is recording again, you're still the one who is editing.
It's very tough.
Yeah, it's very tough, very tiresome. So we did take a pause on that, but we are getting back to it.
Oh.
Yeah. So most of the footage that we've been working on cars and photos of our builds, we still have them, we still have the content, but the point is just putting them there, out there on our YouTube channel.
So Kimiti, do you remember how we met?
I remember meeting you way back. In I think it was between 2017 or 2016.
Way earlier.
Way earlier?
Yes, because I left there in 2015.
You mean it is that far back?
I think it's 2013 because
2013.
Yes, after leaving where we used to work, where I went, the new employer, it was 6th May 2014. So it means that it was either late 2013 or
January,
early 2014. So many years. So that's how we came. We were busy running around. Let us not mention where we met, but telling you, we were colleagues.
Hey, I'm telling you, then that is way back. I never thought it was that far back.
If you don't mind telling our audience what we used to do then.
So myself, I'm in the IT industry.
Yeah.
And that's what I studied in the university. I did bachelor in business information technology, and now I have a master's in marketing.
I also did that. Bachelor of business information technology in JKUAT. Yes.
Yeah, because now you see, when you go to that side of the job, the business world or the employment sector, you end up trying to always improve on your skills and improve on your education and all that. So that's where I found myself. I did BBIT, then went ahead and did my master's in marketing, which I thought it's a course that will take me somewhere because you see, marketing, you don't have to, it doesn't matter the industry you are in, you still have to market yourself at some point. Yeah, so that's what I do on the side.
Apart from this, what we're seeing behind us, you still pursue your career?
Yes, I do pursue my career, that is in IT. So as I do these also.
How do you get to balance all these bills behind us, customer, clients, etc., and corporate world, or you are not employed, you are self-employed on the other side of your career?
I'm employed, but now the challenge always is time, because now I'll have to do my bills on weekends. If not on weekends, if it's on weekdays, then I have to do it either late in the evening, sometimes even late into the night. And also, I'm lucky to be employed somewhere where we do have shifts. So when I have my off days or when I'm on leave, then I really have to work on my bills. I'm good at.
So why couldn't we see any signs of this while you were working there?
Back there? That was a big shift for me, for my family. And also now my friends like you who actually never thought that I had these skills. And even myself, by the way, I didn't know this is how it will turn out when I started. So at some point in my career, I did have a lot of time. I did have a lot of time with me. That is, you could find yourself maybe doing shifts and a lot of them. So when you're not at work, you're just
seated there. Did you go like to a school to learn all these things, or how do you learn to repair cars?
Luckily for me, I've been brought up, I will say, in a garage stroke workshop, but more of a workshop setup. So I've been seeing my dad building things from scratch. A lot of fabrication, a lot of modifications, but not necessarily on cars, but just on, let's say, big trucks, tractors and all that. So I think, I didn't know back then, but I came to understand that as a kid, I used to, by me seeing him do that, then I knew that at least something is possible. So that's how it came for me. So when I combined that with a lot of hours of watching YouTube videos, because you see, people don't know, but you can learn a lot from YouTube. You can learn a lot online, and that is what actually made me understand a lot more of what I was looking at when I was a kid.
Now moving to some of the builds I'm seeing behind there, even before we start walking through them, explain. So what are some of the challenges that you have come across while doing building them or doing your passion?
I'm telling you, following your passion isn't easy, because it might be a bit expensive.
Finances.
Yeah, finances. And I think that is like the biggest challenge, because if you look at, let's say, the developed world or the outside countries, like the YouTube videos I used to watch, these people don't have the time to make their own things, let's say tools, or make their own body parts, or make their own modifications just to get something inside. They order them. They're already made for them, so you just order. Their job is just to come and fit. Now, let's say, for example, you have a classic car, like the one behind me. You buy it, the engine is not running and all that. You have to rebuild it yourself. But for them, they have the muscle, they have the capability, the financial muscle to just get a new, bigger performance engine and put it inside. So, for me, the biggest challenge has been finances. Then, again, time. So trying to balance between, let's say now, like employment and following my passion is quite difficult.
So among your builds, do you have a favorite one?
Hey, of course I do have a favorite, and that is this Ford here. So this is my favorite. It has many reasons for that, actually, because it's the one that inspired me or put me out there. Let me put it that way, or put me actually in this, whatever I'm doing right now. When I bought it, I was so green, like literally I didn't know anything about, let's say, welding or rebuilding an engine, or I had done that before, helped somebody do that, but then not my own. So when I got interested, and actually I said that let me just see where this takes me, let me actualize my dreams, let me follow my passion. So that's when I immediately looked for a classic car. I found this Ford dumped somewhere. I negotiated for over 3 months. Then I was lucky enough to get a chance to buy it. Then I bought it. From there now, you can see, the rest is history.
Maybe roughly, how many builds have you done of these classic cars?
We've worked on quite a number of classic cars, from VW, Beetles, to now the truck you're mentioning, to Nissans. I don't have the count, but I think they are not more than 20.
Anyway, Kimiti, before we now start walking around to check out on some of their builds, so how can they reach you, let's say, on social media?
On social media, my page, we normally have a page for the garage that is on Instagram, where it's the 70's garage. That is the 70 is a number, then like a small s, the 70's garage. That is the page we are out there with. And I think on YouTube also, the 70's garage, our YouTube channel. But mostly, I think Instagram is much easier to work with. So guys, so this is the builds that we have right now. And I think we'll start with this one. These are Peugeot 203. It's quite old. And this is now the first car that I started working on as I entered this industry. So what we've done on it, our client wanted to stretch the car. They wanted to do like a limousine. So we added 1.2 meters. So we had to split the car, cut the car into two, then stretch it 1.2 meters. So this, from this part going forward is stock. Then we added this part now. So we had to like mold the roof, mold this part, do the floor, reinforce the entire chassis so that we can have something that is strong and can be able to do work that is intended to do. So the intention for this is to, let's say, have a car for photo shoots, hires for weddings and all that. So this is, I started this back in 2019. We had a little hiccups where I was at that garage. Then, yeah, it ended up to this place, and I think this year is the year for it. We'll have to start working on it once more, do a lot of welding, finalize on the body works, then we start now doing the engine and the suspension works. So for this one, we'll have to change the engine because now you see we've added more weight on the car. So we can't work with the stock engine. So we'll have to do a bigger modern engine that is quite reliable compared to what it had before. From this, then we have the Ford Capri. So this is the one that I told you earlier is my favorite. It has given me a lot of challenges, and I've learned a lot working on it. Actually, most of the things that I've learned is from working on this specific car. So I bought it in 2019, and I started working on it immediately from when I bought it. You can check from my YouTube channel, that is the 70's Garage. You'll be able to see how the car was when I bought it, and this is how it looks now. So I've not been working on it like the entire time since I bought it. We've had to pause because of quite a number of things, mainly financial challenges, maybe other bills that you have at the garage. You see, when you have your own car at the garage, and let's say Amoke here brings his own car, definitely have to put a pause on mine so that I can work on his. So that is what has been happening, but God has blessed me with the time. Now, like the last few months, let's say from August of 2022, I've really given a lot of work, and I've done a lot of work on this car. That is a lot of welding, a lot of modifications, so that you can have it in the state it is right now. So we are working on the body. We are doing body works on it currently. And what we are trying to achieve is to achieve these lines to ensure that they are even, let's say, better than the way they were, which is quite impossible because the car has been used where we are. And yeah, so we are just trying to get the best out of what we've built. So we are working on the body. This is steel primer, and this is the self-etch primer, which is best when you've already removed all the paint from the car and you have bare metal. So you can start with this primer. So you remove all the rust, then you buy this primer. It normally comes with a hardener, so it's an enamel. So you use that to treat the body and also protect it from rust and all that. So we've already finished the inside. I intend to paint the car orange first before I see how it looks. So that's what we've already done on the inside. So we've reinforced the floor, we've restored, we've welded all the rust holes that we had, and yeah, cleaned it and painted it. So it did have a lot of rust, especially this area. We had a lot of rust and holes and all that. So it really gave us a hard time trying to get it right at this place. But we managed, and we painted it inside. So the inside is done. We're just waiting to fit the dashboard and all that. So this car comes with a sunroof. This is a sunroof. And yeah, when you work on the car, you still also have to work on it. It's metal, it's not glass. That's how they came back in the days. So all this was really bad, but now you can see we have the shape that is taking its place when you come back here. As I said earlier, this is a Ford. It's a Ford Capri, 1974 model, also known as a Mark II gear. So if you go online, you'll be able to see how it looks when it's new or when it looked before. The car comes with a 2-liter engine. And this is the engine bay. That's why they do have the long bonnets. They tried to create, they normally called it the British Mustang. So that's why you can see the bonnet is quite long. The engine bay is very long and very spacious. I tried to modify it so that we can have it, it's like a facelift. So when you have the 74 model, the 79 model was better looking, to me that is. So I tried to modify the bonnet a little bit, do this grille. This one I've hand-built it here at the garage. It has these scoops here, which are very functional, maybe to cool the intercooler. Once we'll fit the intercooler and the radiator back there. So all this is just to get the look of the modern Capri, or the younger Capri, because this was a 74 model, and I'm trying to make it look like a 79 to 82 model. But everything is there. I was lucky enough to get a car that was not tampered with. The engine is functional. We just had to rebuild it. All the body parts are there. The shocks are there. The rims are there. The tires, of course the tires are not there. But suspension-wise, the car is intact. All the glasses are there for the windshield, the side glasses, and even the rear view glass is there. So yeah, all we had to do was deal with the rust with this one. So it has a name. I named it Pablo. I don't know why I named it Pablo, but yeah, this is Pablo. So apart from these classic builds, we also do a bit of, I will say, performance, because we've fitted quite a number of turbos in different cars. We fitted a supercharger in one car. This is a client who has come to have his car improved. This one is imported and fitted a bigger turbo in it. So what we are doing with this build, we are trying to fit the intercooler. So we'll be fitting this intercooler here. Then we do the piping. As you can see, these stainless bends are for the piping. Let's say you have that on there. Try and get the piping right for the intercooler, mounting the intercooler, and also doing the exhaust. So we also do performance exhaust, that is through pipes. We also do those, and roll cages, tuning, and all that. So this has been here since the start of this year, and we intend to finish it maybe in a week's time. So this is a Starlet, actually. It's a Starlet GT. They used to come with turbos, but not this big. So this also is one of the builds that we've been working on. This is a Subaru DL5. We did a partial restoration on it. We had a lot of rust on it, but we tried to minimize on the cost of rebuilding the car. So what we did the body works, we welded all the rusted areas, and we painted the car. So I think it's an 80s car. It's a 1982 to 86 model, and we were able to remove the engine, repaint the engine bay, and also do a bit work on the engine itself. So the car is running and is performing very well. So all you're waiting for are the lights, the bezel areas and all that. That is what you're waiting for right now. Because some of these cars, finding parts for them is quite difficult. So like this one is very famous in Australia, so you get parts from Australia. We have a BMW here which we are trying to improve the performance on that. So what we've done is we've fitted a turbo on it just to make the drive quite exciting, a bit exciting. So we've done a turbo, we've done the intercooler here, and back to the intake. So when you do that, you also have to do a computer on that so that you can be able to tune the car. Because adding a performance item to a stock engine or an A engine, of course, it won't perform that well until you're able to tune it. This is a Peugeot 504. They were quite rare because it's a 4x4. So it's called a 504 dangle. So what we are doing on it, we are converting it to EFI and also fitting a turbo on it so that it can improve on its performance. So I think this one is quite rare. Yeah, so this is the kind of work where we are doing on it. So we are fitting coil-on plugs. Then we are trying to put a new throttle. Then here is the turbo. So the challenge with this, working on these kind of cars is the space, because normally the engine was not designed to hold a turbo. So trying to find space to fit a turbo is a bit challenging, but then it's doable, because you have to start working from the manifold. You start working from the exhaust manifold all the way to fitting a turbo, and also trying to redirect the exhaust back to the rear of the car. This is a Jaguar XJ6L. It has a 4.2 liter petrol engine, and you can see the SU carburetors on it. So these are the SU carburetors. This is the inlet manifold. We have the oil filter. We have the cylinder head, which is here. So this engine, we rebuilt it, and you are trying to have this theme for the car. So you are trying to have the gray, yellow, and black match up for the engine. And once we did that, it was actually looking really nice. But then we had challenges with running the engine, but we are getting there. We had issues with the distributor. We had to import it, one from UK. So we are still working on that as we are waiting for it to start. So the intention with this, we want to start it or run the engine off the car before we fit it back to the car. We've also restored the vehicle. As you can see, we are still working on it. This is undercoat, so we are trying to restore it. I've tried to restore this engine bay. It's a 1974 model of the XJ6L Jaguar, and they came with an automatic transmission. So this is a 3-speed vehicle, but now has a big engine which is 4.2 liter. We can call them the modern day guzzlers, because now these are a true guzzler with a 4.2 liter engine, and again it's petrol. Now with the petrol prices, it brings the question whether one really wants to take back the old engine, put it in the car, or maybe now when you have the money you can get a modern engine and fit it inside. But for me, I really wanted to have a test of the 4.2 liter petrol, and that's why I've gone to the length of trying to restore the engine, trying to get it to run and fit it back to the car, so that I see how it ran back in the days. So God willing, also by the end of this year, or let's say even mid of this year, once the engine is running, we just put it inside, and you might be seeing this Jaguar on the roads. So apart from these cars, we also build equipment. We build gym equipment. Let's say you want to start a gym business, so you come tell us the intention you have with those equipment. So we build those for clients, and even home use gym equipment, we can also do that for you. Apart from now the gym equipment, I've built a water testing unit. You are interested, or you have businesses in the water section or water sector, let's say drilling boreholes and all that. So we can build a water testing for you from scratch. A water testing unit is a truck that does installations, fishing of water pumps, that is submersible water pumps, and also water testing or test pumping.
So Kimiti, thank you very much for a little tour of your massive.
It's not that massive.
I hope you enjoyed the interview the same way I enjoyed, and hoping that once these builds are done, I will come, we confirm that indeed Kimiti finished his build.
Always remember to support Amoke with his vlog, because definitely these things, you really need motivation, and your views, your comments, your subscriptions do help when it comes to creating content and motivating even the content creator to do a lot of these. So Amoke, karibu tena, na asante sana for your time. I've really enjoyed.
So guys, that was the showcase with Amoke Vlogs. If you want to be featured on the next episode of Showcase with the Amoke Vlogs, kindly feel free to DM me up on IG, and I will come knocking. Kimiti, thank you very much for the garage tour. I really appreciate it for the opportunity.
Of course.
And guys, remember to check him up on his social media account, 70's Garage YouTube channel, even though it's dormant, and check out his old builds. Always remember to leave a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe to Amoke Vlogs. Kwaherini, tuonane.
Sawa sawa. Nataka kugot.